फ्रेंड्स, आज हम स्टार्ट करेंगे ऐसा न्यू लेक्चर सीरीज। इट्स रिलेवेंट विद आईएस कोड। सो इस लेक्चर सीरीज में हम बेसिकली बात करेंगे वो यूज होने वाले उन आईएस कोड की जिनका हमें अपने एकेडमिक्स में नीड होता है, या फिर हम आगे चल के उन प्रोफेशनल्स में उन कोड आईएस कोड के वैल्यूज को, उन आईएस कोड की रिसर्च को हम लोग आगे कंटिन्यू करते हैं इन प्रैक्टिस और इन एकेडमिक्स। सो आज का जो हमारा आईएस कोड है, दैट इज द आईएस कोड SP-41 SPP। आईएस इज रिलेवेंट विद इट्स अ इंडियन स्टैंडर्ड कोड, एंड जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इसको डेवलप करती है, जिस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के थ्रू ये प्रिंट होता है, दैट इज कॉल्ड द BIS यानी ब्यूरो ऑफ इंडियन स्टैंडर्ड। एंड देन SP इज acronym for the special publication, and the code number is the 41. And the revision of the uh, first revision of the code of this code is published on 1985. Then the code name is Handbook on Functional Requirement of Building other than Industrial Building. So जो ये कोड है वो इंडस्ट्रियल बिल्डिंग पे एप्लीकेबल नहीं होता है। इस कोड के कंसिस्ट 4 पार्ट हैं और वी सेड सा 4 चैप्टर हैं। तो बेसिकली सो okay, so then we are seeing ki which section they have been covered. So in the first section, in a first part, they have covered the climatology section. In the second part, they have discussed about the heat insulation system. Then the third part, they have talked about the ventilation, and then the fourth part is relevant to the lighting. Or we say it's a day lighting, or we say it's a artificial lighting, both. So what they have actually covered in their parts, so I'll just give a little brief. Okay, so in the first part, they have discussed about the basically climatic element, like air temperatures, radiation, humidity, temperature, rainfall, and wind data. And they have discussed about relevant their table and how to calculate this, and how we decided this, which type of climate of or which zone. And then after that, they have doing zoning of the several regions of the country from climatic consideration is brought out. And in the second part, basically they are talking about the heat insulation of the building, such as dwelling, hospital, school, and office building, both for non-air conditioned and air conditioning building. And they are giving some example to calculate the how to calculate the thermal insulation factors and their values, and they have given the material conduction value in their table. So through this we can get some more data about the insulation. So if you are studying the insulation chapter, so then you must be referred to this IS code. Then in the third section, they have talking about the ventilation system. Majorly they are talking about the natural ventilation in their section. So in their section they are talking about how to do natural ventilation, which type of guidelines we follow in our design, which type of building, then what type of its standards are matters in a case of ventilation and ventilation. So that's is covered in the ventilation system. And in the part 4, they have talking about the lighting means not only they have covered the natural lighting, they are talking about also artificial lighting also, illumination also. So they have covered the whole thing, the whole like natural daylighting कैसे हमारी ingress होती है, and what are the parameter according to the their design. एंड आफ्टर दैट कि हम इल्यूमिनेशन को हम कैसे, आर्टिफिशियल लाइटिंग को कैसे अचीव करते हैं, कैसे कैलकुलेट करते हैं एक इनक्लोज स्पेस में. सो दे हैव डिस्कस इन द देयर पार्ट 4. आफ्टर दैट इन चारों सेक्शन में उन्होंने जो एनर्जी कंजर्वेशन के जो पैरामीटर्स हैं उनको कवर्ड किया हुआ है. सो आफ्टर दिस स्मॉल रिव्यू ऑफ IS कोड SP-41, आई वुड सजेस्ट कि जो स्टूडेंट जिनके सिलेबस या करिकुलम में क्लाइमेट है या फिर इंसुलेशन, थर्मल इंसुलेशन, वेंटिलेशन और डे लाइटिंग या लाइटिंग इल्यूमिनेशन, इस टाइप के कोई भी चैप्टर या सिलेबस कंटेंट है, सो दे मस्ट बी कैन रिफर टू दिस IS कोड. दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट IS कोड फॉर स्टूडेंट्स. सो आफ्टर दिस I will just show you one or two table for लाइक कि किस टाइप से IS कोड जो है वो रिफर करता है, क्योंकि मोस्ट ऑफ देम IS कोड्स में जो डेटा होता है वो ग्राफिकल एंड टेबुलर फॉर्मेट्स में डेटा होते हैं. So I'll just go through the whole IS code. So this one is the first section, climatology. So they have saying the tabular data of how to hour wise design dry bulb and wet bulb temperature. So before studying IS code, you must be know the background knowledge of their topic. क्योंकि बिकॉज बिना उस बैकग्राउंड स्टडी नॉलेज टॉपिक के आपको IS कोड को समझने में थोड़ी सी टफनेस हो सकती है. So these are some few formulas, few equations, few datas. Everywhere is in fulfilled with datas. And the charts. This is the psychometric charts showing TSI index. Then is the solar chart. Then there is the solar lighting, daylighting, designing, shading devices, designing and calculations. Then after this, climate class, and then heat insulation system. How to calculate the heat stored in the building or uh, heat flow in the building through the opening. So these are very tough. Like we say, कि अगर architecture students की बात करें तो it's a very tough, but it's necessary for our growth, for our academic. So आपको most of them data इस IS code से आपको मिल जाएगा उस particular chapters में. These are the calculation process for calculating the thermal time constant. You can do. In the third section is the ventilation. So this is the ventilation chapter. They can relate to their climatic condition to the ventilation. So this is a very interesting table. I just tell you कि अगर हमको दिया हुआ टास्क कि हमारा रूम साइजेस पता हो तो हम उसके थ्रू वी कैन इजीली फाइंड दैट कि हमको कितने नंबर ऑफ सीलिंग फैन की रिक्वायर्ड होगी और उसका ब्लेड साइज या डाया साइज जो होगा वो क्या होगा. सो अगर हमारा एक जस्ट एग्जांपल लेते हैं कि 8 मीटर लेंथ वाइड और 4 मीटर 8 मीटर लेंथ एंड 4 मीटर वाइड अगर कोई रूम है तो हमारा जो फैन कितने नंबर के फैंस आएंगे, नंबर्स ऑफ फैंस एंड डाया क्या होगा उनका. सो वी कैन इजीली जस्ट मैच इट. 8 number of we choose this column and this is the row, so we just easily find it कि there is the dia of the 1200 dia and the number of fan is 2. So this is very simple, but looking at very complicated. So for a student I just say कि you must be constantly read the IS code. Okay, this is the ventilation section. After the ventilation section there is the lighting section. So through lighting they have discussed about from the basic to every advanced section, and these are the values, chart, bars and everything. Values, most of them. Then the calculation process of the illumination, then the polar lighting diagram, then the specification of the luminaries, everything. Then after that lighting distribution, then end of this IS code. Okay, so this is the end of the IS code SP-41. So please, I request to every architecture and engineering students, those have relevance of this IS code, so you must be referred to this. So for downloading the IS code, you can directly type on Google keyword IS code SP-41 download. So then you got a 1 or 2 resources from the Google websites. But if you don't want to hustle, so you can directly go to my captions and you can download the IS code from through my captions. Thank you.